like it was initially in the minds of the drafters, this document is going out for testing. Since we say it is a living document, it will change. It definitely will change as feedback comes back from the implementers. Yeah? But then we realize that there are two distinct groups in here. There's the energy team and there's the food team. Okay. There's the energy and the agriculture. I'm saying two. Susan, don't squint the eye. Now, Susan.
I can fit in the food.
No. As for Susan,
and even energy.
Exactly. Now that is why I'm saying there's food and there's energy. Then the systems person blends into the two. So we are going to have two groups which will be sitting simultaneously to look at those specific areas. But we should also understand that in the application of this document, there is no way these two groups are going to work independently. At some point, they have to merge and discuss. The solar guy is going to ask, what size of cassava are you going to cut and bring and put in this solar heater? So that as I design my solar collector, because this is now solar thermal, not solar PV, how do I design my solar collector with relation to the pieces of cassava you're going to cut and put in? How long do we expect it to dry? Which season are we talking about? Is it the rainy season? Is it all those? So at some point, these two groups will have to meet and talk. So Susan is going to have a lot of work because the two teams will sit simultaneously, but you will see how to feedback from our control engineering classes. A control system which doesn't have a feedback loop is useless. You don't need it. Just throw it out and go on. Now this system is planned to have a feedback loop so that the desired output can be controlled, because we know what we actually want. So if we find that what we have on the outside, on the output side, is not the desired, then we use the collected data for the 6 months, put it back and try it again. You see that? So that is what is going to go forward. From now, I think if we say 6 months, that's October. Yeah? It doesn't mean from now to October no work is going to be done. The independent teams are going to sit and maybe keep adjusting the document, proposing changes, so that after the 6 months, the teams can actually, we could have the second draft of this until it is a perfect document. Perfect is a relative
input. I like reality, and I believe that everyone also like reality. This is upstream discussions. At the same time, it will be good to also have the feedback loop from the ground.
Yes.
Simultaneously happening, because the reality is that if you take what is happening in Chagway, it's not like there is no work that is ongoing. To what extent is that work that is ongoing helping to recalibrate what is coming in here? So an addition to that will be that within these 6 months, Patrick will have to come back with proof of evidence on the ground that some of those aspects that are put in there are ongoing, and this is the feeling of what those who are already, whether it is planting or processing or adding value, their feeling about some of those aspects that are there, so that we're realistic and we take this thing from a boardroom issue to the ground. Because what I'm saying is that if we are to stay only in this boardroom, it's as if we are developing a standard, which is not true. And if we are then discussing here and those who are feeling the pinch are out there on the ground, coming back again without having their inputs or how they're feeling and how they are doing it will be, to me, another talk shop. I'm sorry to use that word, but with all due respect.